Good morning, Patriots, and God bless you all. And as always, thank you for taking this opportunity to join me. Again, I am your host, Chi-Town Zone, and without further ado, let's get into this, friends. This morning, I will be showing you a video in regards to an interview I had with an Asian woman there over at the Trump gathering over there along Wacker, across the street from Trump Tower, where we were met by hundreds of Trump protesters there who were there to protest Donald Trump's visit in the downtown area, where he was set to speak over at the McCormick Place for the International Association of Chiefs of Police, and then later attend the fundraiser there being hosted by Tom Ricketts over at Trump Tower. I spoke with an Asian woman there who happened to be a Trump supporter. Of course, there was an elderly Caucasian woman there as well, along with what looked to be another Latino Trump supporter there as well, holding a little cardboard sign that said Trump 2020 or something of that sort on it. But again, as we were interviewing this Asian woman, there was one woman that you'll probably hear as you see the video that was shouting things at us or whatever. There was a few others that, gathered or whatever, were just watching from a distance, wouldn't say anything at all. And then, of course, as the crowds began to swell later throughout the morning, many of the anti-Trump protesters began to notice us, and the media began to surround us or whatever, and many amateur photographers wanting to ask questions. Of course, we had a great time with that, of course, getting to speak with many people there. Of course, again, I got to interview this Asian woman who who was a Trump supporter, and she spoke highly how she felt about, the lies coming out of the Democrat Party's mouths, and she called it exactly what, Trump calls it for. It's fake news. It's all lies, friends. Again, I got to meet many fellow patriots there. We had a great time, standing up for our president and standing up for our country and standing up for our beliefs as Americans, friends, because, we are all Americans, friends. It's no longer about us. It should be we. And, that's what makes this country such a great country, friends. And, the thing is how has it ever become, so divided over, our political beliefs? It's over. It's all nothing but lies, friends, coming out of the mouths of the Democrat Party, and as I've stated before in previous videos, they just want power, friends. Tim Pool said it yesterday in a particular video I was watching, and I know for some of you who are probably seeing this now, I know you don't follow Tim Pool for obvious reasons. Of course, I like to get stories from both sides to try to get a better perspective, to see how we can come together as one, friends. In other words, let's agree to disagree, friends. We may not always agree on certain things. I know there's many people who are Democrats that may not always agree on, many of the things that Obama spoke of or wanted. And, there's many things that, many of us may not always agree or support that Trump wants or does, right? But that's politics for you, friends. But the problem is with the Democrat Party today is that many, as I said before, many of the things that, suddenly, they were in, favor of before. Suddenly, it's funny how they're no longer in favor of it. You know why that is? It's because it's Donald Trump who is in office today, friends. They push this whole narrative that Trump is a bigot, Trump is racist, Trump is a xenophobe, he's a homophobe, an Islamophobe. He's every ism and phobe in the book, friends. Many of the people on the far left, have fallen for it, with the lies from the leftist media, fake news media like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, you name it, friends. They all have a bias against our president, friends, and, they are not hiding it no more. They cherry pick clips of President Donald Trump's speeches or whatever, and they tried to make it fit toward what they want to talk about, to try to make it seem like, oh, Trump is a racist and whatever else, and and it's not right, friends, and many people on the left continue to fall for it. But I'm glad to see that there are those that are starting to wake up, friends. If you follow the hashtag Walk Away campaign, you will see for yourself, friends. Just go to YouTube and type in hashtag Walk Away campaign, and you will find a list of videos of people who were devout Democrats who had an absolute hatred for Donald Trump, friends, would not support an ounce of anything he spoke about, would not support anyone who happened to be a Republican or whatever, because they were so dumbed down by the lies. But after they began to think for themselves, friends. They began to see what many of us were talking about today, and how the media lies, and how they try to spin things to make it seem like Trump is a racist and whatever else, and he's a fascist, and anybody else supports him is a racist and a fascist. And for the record, friends, let's get something straight before we go any further, friends. For one, I am not, nor do I support fascism in any way, shape, or form, friends. Understand? So, again, with that being said, fascism, in my opinion, what I thought fascism was, friend, was someone who really loves their country, stands by the Constitution, stands by the rule of law, supports our president, and supports our country. That to me is what a fascist, being a fascist was, in my honest opinion. That was my perception of how I saw a fascist. But unfortunately, friends, I was obviously wrong, and I do apologize to each and every one of you. But again, if loving my country makes me a fascist, then hey, guess what? I may just very well be a fascist to those on the far left, like the far leftist domestic terrorist organization Antifa. And for the record, the KKK is no better than Antifa. They are as well a far left, not a far leftist domestic terrorist organization, but again, they are a domestic terrorist organization. They are funded and founded by the Democrat Party, friends. Many of you may remember, the Jim Crow era and how he refused to let black people vote, friends. And then the Republican Party came along and gave black people the right to vote, friends. And but the thing is that the Democrat Party has dumbed so many people down into thinking now that that racism has changed hands. Now the Republican Party are the ones that are racist because why we don't want socialism in America. And that's the thing with the Democrat parties. They want socialism. They want to tear down the borders. They want to just bring in thousands of immigrants, and they promise free housing and free schooling and free health care for all, and higher taxes on the working class and the rich. But look what they're doing now, friends. The $1 million mansions they live in, are their homes not surrounded by walls? I don't think so, friends. I mean, the hypocrisy is real, friends. And you got to really think for yourself, friends, and understand that the Democrat Party does not care about you. They just want power, friends, to control you, to control your mind. You have to, as I've said, you have to learn to think for yourself, friends. Learn to walk away. Do your own research, and you will see for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. I encourage you to do some fact checking. Look at the history of the Democrat Party and the neo-Nazi movement and the KKK. And you will see for yourself. Matter of fact, let's take the late Robert Byrd, former Democrat Robert Byrd, who was also, if you look him up, you will soon find out he was the grand wizard of the KKK. And of course, yours truly, the crooked Hillary Clinton, of course, obviously supported Robert Byrd. In a book, she actually considered Robert Byrd one of her biggest mentors. She considered him a hero. This is in one of her books, friends. Don't take my word for it. If you don't believe me, look it up yourself, friends. There's even a picture of Robert Byrd himself and Hillary both hugging one another. So if you don't believe me, look into this and you will see for yourself, friends. But again, with that being said, we had a great time out there interviewing Trump supporters. As many of you seen in the video I caught, there was some heated debates back and forth between Trump supporters and anti-Trump supporters there. Many of which, there was a heated debate back and forth between a Latino man who's obviously a Trump supporter. He was, involved in a heated argument with one gentleman about, illegal immigrants trying to smuggle children into the border or whatever, and a host of many other things. He was into a heated debate with the gentleman who was accusing Trump of being sued by thousands for failure to properly pay them or whatever the case may have been. There was even one heated debate between a gentleman and another guy who was obviously an anti-Trump supporter. About children and going to school, and how why isn't President Trump doing anything? And last I checked, President Trump wanted to send help to Chicago. He wanted to send help to do what he can to kind of control the gang violence. But of course, many of these crooked Democrat politicians here refused his help. President Trump said that he could get this problem taken care of in just a matter of days. But of course, the mayor turned it down, and it's unfortunate, friends. But with that being said, I digress. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I want you to see this video for yourself, friends. I think it's about a 10-minute something long video. But again, with that being said, for those of you watching for the first time, do feel free to subscribe for further updates or any breaking news if we happen to have any. And again, I will do my very best to bring that to you. But without further ado, let's get into this, friends. God bless you all, and do stay tuned. All right, you guys, so here we are. We are at the corner of Wacker and Wabash, just outside of Trump Tower here once again. I'm gonna go get more. I look like we got a couple Trump supporters here. All right. There we go. She's wearing a Make America Great Again hat, which is awesome. All right, ladies, thank you for the support. Trump 2020.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Trump is for the people. I'm just, how do you feel about everything that's, all these protesters are here saying about President Trump and all these lies that they continue to, come out of their mouths about, Russia collusion and Ukraine? I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, that's fake news.
Yeah.
Did you find anything else for President
Exactly.
for 3 or 2 years?
Exactly.
You didn't find anything.
Exactly.
The job is just impeach Trump and don't let our president work.
Exactly.
That's stupid.
Exactly.
Who can make the economy good like that?
Right.
He's stupid. Who can make right now our employees get more jobs? Well, that's
Yes,
stupid.
he's right. He's bringing right. He is. The records do show he's bringing more jobs back to America. When President Obama, if anybody remembers, was in town, of course his higher taxes and everything, many jobs were threatening to leave.
Yes.
Caterpillar, Nabisco, a few others to say the least. Of course, once Trump came into office.
From a socialist country. That
Right.
country, how bad I know. The
Right.
people here, they don't know.
Right.
They have freedom here.
Exactly.
And they never care.
Exactly. They take our freedoms for granted, and
Yes.
the freedoms that so many will love to have. And it's really unfortunate that so many of these people here today are all for socialism and higher taxes, and they want to
Big
limit free speech.
government.
Right. Exactly. They want to limit free speech. They want to take away our right to bear arms. They just want to completely destroy this country and turn us into a third world socialist regime. And
Yeah, you're right.
exactly.
You should have your speech on YouTube, everything. You can talk to people.
Exactly. I mean, of course, too, now they're limiting people's free speech on YouTube as well. I'm sure many of you probably already know. There's a few people I follow who have already put out videos saying that YouTube sent them notifications telling them that they are going to see a decline in their subscriber count. And, it's ridiculous what's happening in this country, how, they're trying to take away our rights to free speech and everything.
You're right.
And, and make everything about race and racism, and it's ridiculous. But again, thank you so much for your support and voicing your opinion. I mean, we all have the right to voice our opinion. That's what makes this country so great, is freedom of speech.
Thank you very much.
So,
built on diversity.
Yes.
And freedom of speech.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
All right. Exactly.
I don't understand why people are really mad because if
Sponsor, not hate.
then
Exactly.
why be against it?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, Chicago is called Chirac for a reason, and he's
Exactly. With all the gang violence here, and he's offered the help, and they.
well. I mean, he was over at the Corbett Place for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I think it was in yeah, I mean, of course, you know, a while back he offered to send assistance, you know, to the CPD and whatnot. You know, Trump even said that he can have the problem here fixed in just days, and you know, they absolutely turned it down. They refused, you know, to take help from President Trump, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I remember, I think it was in March of 2016. Everybody's seen how chaotic things became. You know, it was police officers who were battered. You know. People were throwing projectiles at police officers. I mean, if you don't believe me, look at the images. Of course, there was one leader who actually rushed the stage there. I think it was at the UIC Pavilion. And, you know, it's unfortunate. It wasn't Trump supporters that were fighting with the people. It was the people that were fighting with Trump supporters and so on. And the media tried to, you know, dumb everything down, you know, tried to cherry pick and try to make it seem like it was the complete opposite. And that wasn't really the case. So.
Medicine. He's taking down the regulations that are allowing
I'm
people.
with WBEZ. Do you mind if I get your names for those gentlemen?
Not at all. Not at all. My name is Marsha Durbin.
M-A-R-S-H-A?
Yes.
Durbin, D-U-R-B-I-N.
It's really unfortunate, guys.